Two teams are in, two more to go. Auburn comes to state from the Macomb Super Sectional, which has produced 4 of the last 6 state champs. The Trojans take on second-ranked Mount Carroll next on the IHSA TV network. Welcome to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. Two teams already in. Warrensburg Latham and Hales Franciscan out of Chicago. Both advanced earlier today to tomorrow's semifinals. 2 more teams will join them here tonight. It's Auburn going up against second-ranked Mount Carroll, one of the favorites to win it all. And 2 of our favorites calling tonight's game, Jim Albrecht and Matt Taphorn. Gentlemen.
Thanks a lot, Lee Hall. We have a dandy here. The highest ranked team still alive in Class A is here. As Lee mentioned, Mount Carroll a heavy favorite, but can they take care of Auburn? We saw this afternoon, hey, you got to come out here and bring your game, man.
Absolutely. It's not how you start the game, but how you finish the game. And these teams go back and forth. Momentum swings throughout the game, and it's who's on top at the end. These teams really won it today.
Let's take a look at how Mount Carroll got to Peoria. Not a lot of trouble, really, if you look at it. River Ridge fell, then Rock Falls, and at the mark of the Quad Cities, they got out in front of Abingdon early with big threes and coasted the rest of the way. As far as Auburn is concerned, they had to take out Porta in the sectionals, finish it up with Springfield, which they did, and then, of course, handled Brown County in the Super Sectional. Now, you're going to see a lot of muscle out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know if he's an extra from Muscle Beach or what, but Mr. Haas is a load.
Yeah, that would be Jeremy Haas. Big-time scorer for Mount Carroll, and clearly 24 points a game, one of the top scorers in the state tournament, 8 rebounds, very strong inside. He'll be the focal point, certainly, for the opponent tonight.
And, of course, we've got another one of those combinations, Matt. Father, son, basically 2 coaches. The Gravens are at it, and if you want to find the original Gym Rat, he's going to be out here tonight for Auburn.
Yeah, Brian Graven does it all. He leads his team in scoring, rebounding, and assists. The typical coach's son averages 20 points a game, nearly 7 boards, just a do-everything player out there. They're going to need some leadership out of him to offset Haas.
And, of course, Coach Graven has coached a very long time, never made it to state, so this is kind of his baptism as well. But let's take a look at the keys. First of all, for Mount Carroll.
Mount Carroll clearly wants to establish their inside game, but they need to stay out of foul trouble. They only play about 7 guys, but that inside-outside is key. Get the ball inside to Haas and Yoakum, and then have the outside players knock down the threes when they get opportunities. And they need to slow down Graven inside. Don't let him go crazy in the paint area and penetrate and do what he wants.
Yeah, of course, Abingdon came out in a box and 1 against Mr. Haas, and those threes loosened that up. So let's take a look at the keys for Auburn.
Auburn, again, wants to get the ball, move it up and down the floor. Create problems for Haas and Yoakum, those guys to have to run harder and work harder throughout the ball game. They also want Haas to work in a half-court set. They want to keep him moving on the defensive end, make him burn up some energy so he doesn't have as much on the offensive end. And they also need to hit their free throws. About 67% on the season, but when you're in close games like this, everyone counts.
And Mount Carroll hasn't lost to a team in Illinois all year. They lost to one in Indiana in a holiday shootout, but they haven't fallen to anybody in the land of Lincoln yet, so we'll see if that holds true for this evening. 6 teams left with the hope of climbing the mountain. We're about to eliminate 1 more. We'll be back at Peoria and the Civic Center after these local messages. Get ready for boys quarterfinal action. Take 2 of the day. Mount Carroll, of course, representing the northern part of the state of Illinois, and Auburn a little bit more down south. And if you take a look at the history of Mount Carroll, it's been an awful long time since you saw the Hawks here. We'll get to that, but let's take a look at the tale of 2 cities right now. Mount Carroll, population of just over 1,700. Auburn, I don't know if all 3,600 are here, but it's starting to sound like it. Enrollment, only 149 in Mount Carroll, but as Matt and I like to say, it only takes 5 to win. And the conferences, Northwest Upstate Illinois and Prairie State. Let's take a look at that Mount Carroll tournament history. They played in the first ever boys basketball tournament in the state of Illinois. It was played in Oak Park YMCA. What do you think the seating capacity was there? And Auburn, of course, back in 1987, lost in the quarterfinals to Beardstown 59-58. The year after that, head coach Doug Graven took over, and this is his first trip to the big dance in 22 years. And there's somebody who's ready to do a little dancing.
Can't quite tell which team he's for yet.
I don't think he knows yet. I think he's just attracted to the basketball, you know? Let's take a look at some of the team comparisons. You got a couple of high scorers here, Matt.
Absolutely. Mount Carroll nearly 76 points a ball game. Auburn at 70. Both shoot it well, and they do shoot the threes. So we'll be watching a fast-paced game here today.
Everybody at the Peoria Civic Center rises as we get ready for our national anthem, and then of course we'll introduce you to all of these fine young men.
High School Association in the city of Peoria. Welcome to America's original March Madness. Tonight's Class A quarterfinal game in Carver Arena features the Mount Carroll Hawks 30-1 and the Auburn Trojans 26-4. Before we meet the teams, please address the flag with your hand over your heart. Remove your caps and honor America. Enjoy the singing of Kristen Bell, a senior at East Peoria High School, as she sings the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now let's meet the teams for tonight's quarterfinal game. For the Hawks of Mount Carroll, a 5'8" senior, 13, Justin Mosier. A 5'8" senior, 15, Jason Hughes. A 6'4" senior, 33, Matt Kruder. A 6'2" junior, 35, Marcus Foltz. A 6'4" senior, Matt Disher. And a 5'10" junior, 45, Clay Ostrom. Now let's meet the Trojans of Auburn High School. A 5'9" junior, number 20, Blake Ladage. A 5'11" senior, 21, Dan Gibler. A 5'11" senior, 23, Justin Stevens. 5'10" senior, 30, Lance Gardner. A 5'11" junior, 32, Eric Cawley. A 6' senior, 42, Zach Brackemeyer. The 6'2" junior, 44, Dan Bilbrey. And a 6'7" junior, 50, Tony Dobson. And now the starting lineups. At a guard, a 6'1" junior for Mount Carroll, number 21, Jordan Delp. For Auburn, a 5'9" junior guard, number 12, Kyle Dudley. Another guard for the Hawks, a 5'9" senior, 23, Colin Bausman. The guard for the Trojans, a 5'11" junior, 15, Matt Weiss. Third guard for the Hawks, a 5'10" senior, 25, Devin Schneider. And a third guard for the Trojans, a 6'2" senior, 22, Brian Gravin. And a forward for Mount Carroll, a 6'5" senior, 31, Jeremy Haas. And a forward for Auburn, a 6'1" senior, 40, Ryan Hemberger. At center for Mount Carroll, a 6'7" senior, 53, Brent Yoakum. At center for Auburn, a 6'3" senior, 55, James Blair. Head coach for Mount Carroll in his 4th season, a record of 105-14, is Chris Payne. Assistant coaches, Tim Schneider, Mark McCumber, Jeff Fitzpatrick, and Andy Hughes. Head coach for Auburn, Doug Graven, in his 15th year at Auburn, a record of 264 and 157. Assistant coaches, Bill Colliker.
Well, let's check out those starting lineups one more time for you. Misters Haas, Yoakum, Delp, Bausman, and Snyder for the Hawks. For the Trojans of Auburn, Ryan Hemberger, Blair Dudley, Weiss, and Graven. He will be the focal point of the defense for Mount Carroll. There are your officials for this evening. Misters Fritcher, Mueller, and Schiffbauer. I'm Jim Albrecht, along with Matt Taphorn. Are you ready for game number 3 of the quarterfinals? We trust you are. And a couple of very classy gentlemen as coaches here tonight. Chris Payne, of course, with 4 spectacular years at Mount Carroll, a record of 105-14 in 4 years. And Doug Graven, who's raising boys in the gym, his own.
Well, and he's been with these guys since they were in 5th grade and really stayed involved with them throughout the years, and now they have them as seniors. So it's a great opportunity for him to be involved with this team as well.
You saw the gentleman who threw up the honorary ball moments ago. This one, when it goes up, will be the real deal. Some serious expressions. And why wouldn't there be? One win away from the state semifinals, and bringing it up is Auburn after the tip. Weiss will go inside and back out again.
Boy, tough shot there by Dudley. Took it right at him in the lane. Very tenacious man-to-man defense by Mount Carroll. Just took it right at him and hit him right in the mouth.
Kyle Dudley only averages 5 points. Right back at you is Colin Bausman. Bausman nails the 3. Hawks up 3-2. Well, I don't think there's any jitters out there. They're all gone away. Long jumper there by Matt Weiss. Well, Weiss has hit 69 threes on the year. Back the other way. Mr. Haas. Hello, get ready for a little run and gun.
Put your seatbelt on. This is going to be a fun ride.
Tied at 5s. Nobody's had a chance to sit down yet. Brian Graven out front, the senior. He scored 29 points on 2 separate occasions this year. There's the big guy, James Blair, surrounded, right back out.
Yoakum doing a good job just staying behind him, maintaining position on the block, not allowing him to get around him for an easy 2.
They try again on the other block, and this one is taken away by Jeremy Haas. And by the way, Jeremy, I asked him yesterday, how much do you bench? Embarrass me. He said 325. He did.
That'd be a good matchup between him and Blair. I'd like to see him go at it.
He can make that shot. Jeremy Haas, inside, outside, and all over you with the muscle. 7-5 Mount Carroll.
averaging nearly 24 a game. He's put up 37 a couple of times this year. You can see he's got the ability inside and out.
That was a bull and a China shot move. Didn't fall for Blair. Way outside. Yeah. Wow. Is Jordan Dell.
4 out of 4 to start the ball game for Mount Carroll.
I watched Dell play in the super sectional. There's a young man who does not lack for confidence. It doesn't matter what the situation is. And now here's a pass kicked out of bounds by a hustling Jeremy Hass. Well, Mount Carroll, apparently that perception problem with the basket is not.
No, not at all. They're got a quick trigger finger as soon as they get it down the floor, and that's by design. They want to put some points on the board and really make this an up and down ball game.
Graven dealing, and won't get the basket, but he will go to the free throw line. And this is something Brian Graven, he lives at this spot. He was fouled 217 times. He went to the free throw line this year. 217 times. And he made 175 of those, so he's an 80% free throw shooter, and he's about to show you why. 10-6.
Nice stroke from the free throw line. Not surprising, again, from the coach's son. I'm sure he spent a little extra hours in the gym outside of normal practice.
Well, according to his father, Doug Graven, well, no time to tell the story. Hass, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, these guys get up the floor, and Hass, how incredible is that, how he beats everybody down the floor from the inside free throw position.
This shot is not there, and here comes Mount Carroll on the run again. Delp surveying the floor, goes to the middle, cuts it across, and now they'll set it up out top.
They look like they're disappointed that they actually have to run their half-court offense.
They do. This is Snyder. Devin Snyder has an uncle here from Cincinnati. Flew in to see him play today. Baseline move will draw a foul.
Jeremy Hass, very impressive out there. Really handles himself well. He gets the ball at that time on the post. Got a good spin move to get in triple threat position, either shoot, dribble, or pass, and really put the defense in a bind and picked up the foul.
Himberger with a foul. Delp with a 17-footer. No.
First miss of the ball game for Mount Carroll.
I was shocked.
Well, again, they had to go to their half-court set instead of the transition. That slowed them down a little bit.
Fastest start I've seen in Class A for a while. Graven with a move, but he got too far underneath the hoop. Here comes Hass. Hass, without an advantage, will make one.
And one.
And count it.
That is impressive.
Woo.
What a nice move. And in transition, too, against a smaller, quicker guard, was able to get a hesitation dribble, get around him, draw the contact, and still get it up off the glass.
Usually a guy with a lot of bulk doesn't have that kind of dexterity to make that kind of move, but he's one agile man. We've got a timeout on the floor. Mount Carroll with a barrage. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
Well, we like to get up and down the floor at every opportunity. We like to get out in transition, and we got excellent three-point shooters on our team, and we got some post players that can run the floor real well. And you know, in the half court, we like to run motion. We've got some sets that we like to run and try to get our shooters in position to score, and really try to pound it inside at every opportunity.
Well, you heard Chris Payne say we like to get up and down the floor. I think that might be classified as an
he justified
understatement.
that here in the first 3 minutes of the ball game. My goodness.
Okay, when you combine basketball and track and field, what do you have? Mount Carroll.
A pretty darn good team. That's what you have.
No substitutions for either team at this early point. We played just over 3 minutes. There you see a concerned Doug Graven looking on as his Trojans kick it in. Kyle Dudley, the junior guard. Matt Weiss, the junior guard. The rest are seniors. It's time for Mr. Blair to show up, and he doesn't, but he will show up at the free throw line. I was kidding him yesterday about looking at the stat sheet, and I'm like, James, there's no threes there. What's up?
And did he give you an answer, or did he just kind of stare you down?
He just stared me down. Up and good.
Guy looks like a heck of a linebacker or something for somebody in the future.
He's got that, if I can say it with all due respect, that Marine look, doesn't he? Like you talking to me. The Hawks with a 6-point lead and the basketball. Matt Kruder in the basketball game wearing number 33. Haas wants an 18-footer, doesn't get it, a little shy.
Haas hesitated there. He was surprised he was that wide open. Good set play out of the transition to get him open from the free throw line. He just was surprised and wasn't able to knock down the shot.
Graven's one of those basketball players where if you watch him enough, the basketball looks attached to him. He doesn't really. Here's Graven. That's what we're talking about.
Just has a good nose for the ball and the basket where he's at on the floor and puts himself in situations where he can score.
He used the elbow to his advantage there. 4 points for Graven. Haas again. Wants to get a little closer. He'll kick it on over. And now we've got
That's got to be 3 seconds. Absolutely. Haas had the ball, had a shot initially, didn't take it, passed it off, and then got the ball right back. And I mean, that's easy call, that situation for the official.
Team fouls, 2 on each side. Again, Mount Carroll scores 75 a game. The average for Auburn is 70, so expect to see the scoreboard look like a pinball machine tonight. Dudley, who started the game with a nice drive down the lane, will try it again, and he will be called for travel.
Again, Dudley made the first bucket of the ball game, taking it right to the tooth of the defense. Inside in the paint area, and that time he was whistled for the travel. One player that Auburn really needs to get going is Matt Weiss from the outside, really loosen things up on the interior.
Power move and a charge. Well, standing in there was Ryan Hemberger.
Good position defense that time by Hemberger. Just held his ground, didn't try to go up and block the shot. I mean, he's given up about 5 inches against Haas. Good position defensively. They pinned Haas on the baseline underneath the basket. He tried to get out from underneath, and good defensive position, held his ground.
So despite a blitzkrieg of points, Graven is driving down the middle. That one will be saved nicely by Mount Carroll. Here comes Devin Snyder on the break. All the way down to Delp. Delp, deal in and got it.
He got that one to go. He had Jeremy Haas around the other block too, and that's what made the defense honor both people and not allow him to come out. And I think he might have gotten away with a step there, but he's able to connect and give Mount Carroll a 17-11 lead.
Chris Payne says Devin Snyder is the key to our offense. He doesn't get it where it's supposed to go, we're in trouble. He got it where it was supposed to go that time. Blair backs in.
Absolutely.
And that's a charge.
Good defensive position that time. Matt Kruder in the game. Again, with Yoakum out, that kind of creates more of a perimeter offense and perimeter game plan for Mount Carroll. Now we have Jeremy Haas coming out of the ball game as Yoakum comes back in.
And James Blair will check out for Auburn, and in his shoes will be Tony Dobson, who is 6'7", 235. So you exchange 6'3", 275 for 6'7", 235. You still got a presence in there. Long jumper from Delp. Man.
That's 8 points in the ball game now for Delp. He's looking for his shot as soon as he touches the ball. That's a great characteristic for a scorer. First time you touch the ball, look at the rim first.
Well, he had 71 threes hit the net during the regular season. He's had 2 tonight, and now we've got a turnover at the other end.
5-second count that time as Craven was just dribbling the ball out front. The defense was close enough to keep the count on. Official right on top of the play made the call.
Mount Carroll has hit 8 of their first 10 shots. Auburn 3 of 7. Justin Mosier in the game wearing number 13. Delp again, no, not this time. And quickly the other way with a rebound comes Weiss. There's a nice move by Graven. A lot of contact, and that will draw the blocking foul on Delp, who's not real happy about it.
Graven's really gone in the paint area a couple of times and avoided the defender and trying to pick up the foul. You can see why he gets to the free throw line so many times. He really initiates contact down there. Good slide move that time at the last moment to avoid the charge and send him to the line once again.
Yeah, I was about to say he's got that move where he can kind of slide in midair and not make the direct contact. Graven, yep. He can do that all night. We've still got one more quarterfinal game to go tonight. Don't go away. We got a lot of basketball coming your way from the Peoria Civic Center on the IHSA television network. We've got a 7-point Mount Carroll lead. 20 points on the board already, and we still have 2 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Checking out will be Matt Kruder. Back in is Jeremy Hatz. Been watching too much golf. Jay Hatz. Jeremy Hatz. That is Jeremy, and that's not going to go. The rebound comes down to Dobson.
Great defensive position that time by Dobson.
Oh, cutting is Dudley. Kyle Dudley.
Auburn says we can play that game too. Down 5.
Yoakum hasn't really gotten many looks here, so they'll try to send him to the low block, but Haas can't find him. It's about as long as they've taken to fire one off. Delp spinning, hanging, and it won't go. Rebound is fought for. Yoakum was there, and so was Weiss, and we got a jump ball situation. It'll stay in Mount Carroll's court.
Well, Dobson's been very active out there in the minutes he's gotten in there since Blair's gone to the bench, and very effective so far against Haas.
Dobson only a junior, so he's got some high school ball to play yet. Snyder won't take a lot of shots, although when they need him, he will. Tipped out of bounds by Kyle Dudley.
Good anticipation that time by Dudley, making the offense think a little bit out there.
Well, every quarter is 8 minutes, but Mount Carroll makes it feel like about 2. The way they make time fly. Snyder will go left wing. That's Justin Mosier. And this is Yoakum. Well,
not a lot of arch on that shot, but it went in a hurry.
That looked like a pool shot. Let's see if they hang for one here. Down by 7.
I can't believe the official was counting on that. The guy wasn't even 5 feet from him.
Weiss for 3.
That's a guy they need to really get going to loosen things up.
Haas stops. Will they use the clock? Probably not. Delp. Count it. Woohoo!
That's 11 first-half points for Delp.
At this rate, they'll hit 100. They're already at 25. Graven gets it up top to Himberger. Too much iron. Ball is loose and picked out of there by Haas.
Let it go.
And that's the way the first quarter will come to a close. Woo! Jordan Delp had himself a quarter. We're back after these local messages. What happens is you got that muscle inside. They got to let you take the 3 almost, you know. And if this guy's hitting. Okay, no problem.
Welcome back to Carver Arena, Lee Hall. We are along with Brett Graven. His dad, Doug, is the head coach. Tell me what your title is and what, Brett, you're 10 years old. Tell me what you do on this team.
I'm a drill instructor, and I go all the way around the court, and I just do my handlings and around the world, figure 8, through my right leg, left leg, and I just do a layup.
Now, your brother Brian had a tough shooting night a couple weeks ago from behind the three-point arc, and you had a little talk with him. What did you tell him?
Yeah, I just told him he was fading away too much.
You're a pretty good three-point shooter yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, good job, buddy. Good luck to you. A drill instructor. Not the kind we're used to, though. Back to you.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Brett. Of course, Brett's in 5th grade, and that story that Lee was talking about, his brother was having some trouble draining those threes in the sectionals, so young Brett had a 5th grade game the other the day after and drained 3 and came over and told his brother that's kind of how you do it, bro.
Yeah, something tells me we might see him on this floor in the future, too.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Kid seems to know the game.
Brian Graven also led the team out when he was a kid, and now we've got an unforced turnover as Weiss could handle the high pass, and Mount Carroll will come down leading by 7. Warrensburg Latham is in. So is Hales Franciscan. We'll have 4 teams vying for the mountaintop tomorrow. Dealt wide open. Too much iron. Himberger with a rebound. Inside to Dobson. Dobson takes
right
him
in the chin.
and gets it. Whoa.
That's one way to establish position right there. He got right into Yoakum's chin.
2 big men colliding. As you saw earlier, Yoakum can hit from out front. Well, this guy can hit everywhere, and now we've got a foul as Haas makes his move.
Yoakum's still out there trying to shake the cobwebs out. He got popped in the chin that time.
I mentioned they're on a pace to break 100. Well, they've done it once this year. Mount Carroll hit a 102 against Pearl City, and the low.
That was 2 days after they hit 44 points.
They're trying to make up the average, get it back.
Or 2 days after, I should say. They might have had a little incentive after scoring only 44 points.
Auburn season high, not quite the 3-digit mark, but close. 96 low, 46 back in December. Kyle Dudley brings it up. And right now the Trojans need some answers. Trailing by 5. Assistant coach is yelling patience to the Trojans. Here's Dobson. Dudley, tough shot, got it.
Well, Dobson's done a great job when he's gotten in there. That time didn't have it inside. Going inside out action, got the open shot from Dudley. And he's been the answer on defense.
Somebody's open, but it's broken up down there, and now headed out of bounds, saved by Dudley. They have the numbers, but they'll set it up. No, they won't. Weiss wants it, gets it. And we are tied at 25. And still tied after Delt misses. But gathering it in is Colin Bousman. Bousman's the only guy who really won't put up threes on this team. Although he did hit 40, but that fails in comparison to some of the other guards. Pass, no. Rebound comes down to Himberger.
And again, Dobson just getting in his way. Really not doing a whole lot defensively, just maintaining his position. So you got to give him credit.
Dobson was open, just couldn't handle the high pass as it skittered off his fingertips, and he gave that look like, oh man, I want that back. Every play big at the state tournament. Coach Graven standing right in front of me, kind of hard to pick up people. Yoakum to Haas. Oh, look at that. Look at the block by Dobson.
Well, he's been all over the place. Offensive end, defensive end, really getting it done right now for the Auburn Hawks, or excuse me, for the Auburn Trojans. Again, wanting to get some lift out of their bench. They've got a huge lift out of Dobson.
And here's the steal as Graven comes up with it. Now, Mount Carroll did this in the super sectional against Abingdon. Got out to a big lead, then kind of slowed down a little bit. And that's happening again tonight. You can't expect them to keep up that torrid pace, but Graven is going for the lead. Got it. Ryan Graven. Pass doesn't have the answer. Will Yoakum? He does.
Yoakum averages about 10 rebounds a game, and he really goes after those boards. Sometimes you got to get those garbage points.
Graven has 8 on the night. Dobson, high archer, nothing but net.
Wow.
Woo, the 3 on the other side from Colin Bousman. Oh, look at that bounce pass to Himberger, but he couldn't handle it.
Caught him by surprise.
The pace of this game is hectic. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by AGCO Tractor. You have got to drive one.
It's been great. It's been an experience. and it helped us out this year. You know, with us winning the state or coming to state, it's been a dream come true.
You fight with your dad much?
And Graven with 8 points, 4 of those coming from the free throw line, but 3 big trays from Mr. Weiss.
Yeah, and I talked earlier that he needs to get on track to loosen things up inside. He's done that. Hit some big threes to come, get back into this ball game. It looked like Mount Carroll was going to run away with it for a while, but you can't underestimate the power of the three.
Well, the Hawks have launched 7 from beyond the arc, and they've nailed 5. So I think any coach that loves the scoreboard will take that kind of percentage.
Well, they really have cooled off, though, and a lot of it's come from Jeremy Haas, and the fact that he started off so hot, and the team was 8 for 10, and he's really cooled off.
Now they're 12 for 23 after that 8 for 10 start. Back in the ball game is James Blair, number 55 on the low post.
Need to give Dobson a blow.
Yeah, he worked hard.
He worked very hard out there.
He had blocks, buckets, he had it all. Assist. Graven finds a cutting Dudley, and that will cause a whistle and a foul on Colin Bousman.
See the free throw disparity there. Mount Carroll only shooting 1 free throw so far. Auburn with Brian Graven really getting the line, 6 out of 6 from the ball game for the team.
Mount Carroll with 5 team fouls. This one is off the hands of Graven, so will come the other way. Off the turnover. Well, this one's got the fans buzzing, Matt. Nobody's going to get refreshments right now. Pass is cooled off, goes down low to Yoakum, and that's easy.
And it looks like they've tried to take advantage of that last couple of plays down. They get Yoakum in there against the 6'1" Ryan Hemberger, and they almost used Jeremy Haas as a decoy.
Steal by Delp. Goes out to Haas. Look out, rim rattler. No, he's going to lay it up safe.
It's 2 points nonetheless.
Mount Carroll back up by 5. Man, if he shakes that rim, we might have a delay.
Haas is now tied for scoring honors with Jordan Delp with 11.
Hemberger hanging, hitting. All the way loose, his hand. Look at the hands. He collects and gathers and scores. Look at the hands on Jeremy Haas.
He gets up and down the floor just as quick as any player in this tournament so far that I've seen. And he does it from a underneath rebounding position at one end, getting to the other end. And they're really looking for him to sprint out in that transition offense.
And he's deceptively quick. It doesn't look like he can get down there that quickly, but he does. A cutting Graven. He's got the advantage and puts it up with too much glass. Tipped back out. Dudley wants a 17-footer. Not there. Rebound, Yoakum. And Yoakum contested and fouled.
Yoakum a little hobbled after that play. Came down awkward on that rebound. Tried to maintain his feet so he didn't get called for a travel, but great effort going after the ball on the rebound as well. Watch on this replay. You kind of see the way he comes down awkwardly, stays down, or tries to stay on his feet. A little bit of too much pressure that time on the knee, I believe.
Yoakum, 10 points a game, 10 rebounds a game. They can ill afford to lose him via injury. Devin Snyder goes for Delp again. Haas fighting for the rebound, but couldn't control it. That's because Graven wanted it a little bit more. The no-look pass. Long jumper is not there by Gibbler, and Yoakum has another rebound. Dan Gibbler in the game wearing number 21. In a hurry. What else? How else do they play? That won't fall for Bousman. Bousman hit his first 2 threes, but not that time. Minute and a half remaining here in the first half of play. 5-point Mount Carroll advantage. Hemberger, no, he kind of guided that
shot. Yeah, he really was surprised to find himself that open. Really didn't want to take the shot.
Look at the left-hand move and a charge. Oh, big play. That's one of the things that Doug Graven would love to have happen is for Jeremy Haas to get in foul trouble.
And I really thought Haas on that time tried to avoid the contact. He went up with a left hand there from underneath the basket, tried to get it up in the basket, but again, Bryant Craven was right there, drew the charge. Big change of possession there for Auburn.
And Coach Chris Payne can ill afford to risk a third foul for Jeremy Hass, so he pulls him. Hass on the bench for this final minute in 5 seconds. Oh, that's a tough spin move, and it's taken away.
Great strip that time by Delp. He got his hand on the ball. He was able to come up with the steal.
Father giving son some tough love after that turnover. Yoakum in an odd position, and that will be a jump ball.
And again, Dobson has done such a tremendous job just keeping his feet, maintaining position. That time he was able to come up with the jump ball situation.
Snyder kicks it in. Delp off the pick, floats, gets it partially blocked by Dobson, but right there is Yoakum. Brett Yoakum, who averages 10 a game, is making his presence felt here tonight.
Yoakum with 6 rebounds to match his 6 points, and he's taking advantage of all of his shot opportunities, hitting 3 out of 3.
Dobson turning and getting it. Boy, he is having quite a game for a junior who came in averaging only 6 points a game. That's the beauty of state, though, isn't it, Matt? Sometimes somebody gets up and emerges, and their game raises as the stakes are raised. 6 seconds. Delp, can he hit that? No. But we have a whistle. And we'll have a free throw coming up.
And Dobson was staying in there once again. That time, I think Delp really created the foul that time as Dobson his arm was up in the way and really was able to draw. The foul was Delp in that situation. Now they go line for 2.
And it's not unusual for Mount Carroll when the clock is ticking down to keep the ball in this young man's hands. Whoa.
Delp's a junior, but man, he's got a lot of energy out there.
We'll be talking to the leading coach with Lee Hall in moments. Both free throws not there. Time ticking out. They're going to have to launch. Graven with 1 second left and had the line, but too much muscle on it. And we have a whole lot of points going on at the Peoria Civic Center. At the break, Mount Carroll, who started out on fire, hit first of their 8-10. Let's see what Chris Payne has to say about that fast start. Lee Hall?
All right, Jim. Coach, it didn't look like either team was going to miss a shot there in the early going. Quick starts by both teams offensively.
Yeah, the offense is real good right now. Defensively, I think we need to pick it up. We're giving a lot of easy shots inside, and number 50 is killing us right now.
Jeremy Hass with a couple of fouls there. You had to take him out. Do you worry about foul trouble with him?
He's pretty smart. I think we'll be okay in the second half. He just has to learn to go straight up, down there. They're calling a lot of offensive fouls right now, so he's just going to have to quit lowering his shoulder. And they were both offensive fouls. They were good calls. He's got to be smarter out there.
All right, Coach. Good luck second half.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jim. Back to you.
Thanks, Lee. We're back with more from the Peoria Civic Center after these network messages.
And we are back at halftime. 38-33, Mount Carroll with the lead over Auburn here at the break. And we are joined by the 2 principals of the schools involved here in tonight's first quarterfinal. First from Auburn, it's Randy Rader. And Randy, boy, what an outstanding start by both schools. It had to be a lot of fun to watch.
Pretty fast pace, wasn't it?
Yeah. Is this what we're used to from Auburn? Is that the kind of the way they've played this year?
I think the tempo's a little quicker than what we're normally used to, but we've been known to play that way. Maybe not as long as we've had, but this is kind of our style.
It's been quite a year for the Trojans. You guys made it to the semifinals in football in Class 2A. We almost saw you in Champaign, a heartbreaking loss to Carthage in the semis.
Yeah, we've picked it up from there. Most of our kids that play basketball played football on that team, so it's been a roll and a run since the season. Yeah. We've been on a high since then, so it's been great.
Tell us what else we should know about Auburn High School.
Well, we feel like we're in a great school situation. We're like most schools right now. This is kind of the positive thing that's going on at school. With all the financial problems school districts are having, no different at Auburn, but this is definitely a pick 'em up right here. So Auburn High School, school of 300, small town situation there south of Springfield.
Yeah.
It's a nice town to live in.
I think most of the students are here tonight too.
I think we have all of them here. Right.
All right, let's go over and talk to Mount Carroll principal Tim King. Tim, we were talking before the game. We go back a ways, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Back in '92, during my student teaching in Metamora, you came into my 4th grade class and read to the kids.
You scared me. I thought you were one of the kids when you first said that to me.
Yeah, we really appreciate you doing that, and it's 11 years now. So
tell me about Mount Carroll. One stoplight in the town. I think you got the whole town here tonight.
Yeah, we really do have a great representation here from Mount Carroll, and also we also have quite a few people from Carroll County, Joe Davies County, and Stevenson County, what makes up most of our conference. We have a lot of representation here.
When you look up in your crowd, now we're used to seeing the high school kids get excited, but there's a lot of adults joining in the cheers. There's a lot of community spirit up there.
Absolutely. This is big. This is really taking our county and our conference and our area to a new level. We're just glad to be here, and I'm hoping our kids will pull this one out.
What's the mood been like there at school and in town this week?
It's been kind of crazy at school, but as far as the athletes, they're wonderful student athletes, and they really don't get rattled by anything. It's just a normal school day. They're focused. They know what their job is, and that's to be here and hopefully bring home a trophy.
You, if I'm not mistaken, you have the smallest enrollment among the Class A Elite Eight, don't you?
We have 147 kids in our high school.
Yeah. Tell me about what else goes on at Mount Carroll High School.
Our students, because we're so small, our students are involved in a lot of different activities. Most of these students are involved in student council, FFA, a lot of other activities, so we're well diversified.
All right, gentlemen, thank you both very much. It's been a great first half. We look forward to the second half here, Mount Carroll and Auburn. We will be back with more from Carver Arena and our third quarterfinal game after these local messages.
Welcome back to Peoria in Game 3 of the quarterfinals in boys Class A in the great state of Illinois. I'm Jim Albrecht along with Matt Taphorn. Beautiful day outside, sunshine. It's raining in here. It's raining threes, 8 in the first half.
Well, it's raining a lot of shots. Both teams shooting over 50% and just an exceptional job offensively. Defensively, they're kind of laying off and not really putting a lot of pressure on the ball yet, but it's been very much a transition game here in the first half.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers here. Of course, the big ones show Mount Carroll leading 38-33, but how does it break down?
Well, it's actually a pretty evenly matched ball game. You know, you mentioned the threes, but that's somewhat offset by the free throws that Auburn's been able to get. Rebounds relatively even. A good bench production out of Auburn with Dobson getting in there and doing a tremendous job. One thing that we don't see here is the transition points. You know, right now, clearly Mount Carroll is fast break points have 15-2, is really doing the job, and of course our crack staff has those stats right on top of it, but that's really where they've been able to spread this game out a little bit, and that's the type of pace that they like to have.
Take a look at the leading scorers so far the first 16 minutes. No surprise that Mr. Haas is on top.
Jeremy Haas has led the team in scoring 24 out of 31 games this year, and he's done so again here in the first half, averaging 24 points on the season. Jordan Delp did a great job in the first half, knocking down some big threes, 3 out of 5 from the three-point range. And Yoakum again, just Mr. Consistency, double-double average on the year is 8 points. He's got 7 rebounds in the first half as well. And Weiss hit those 3 big threes to really get them back in the ball game when it was starting to slip away a little bit. So he's been a tremendous impact as well.
And the junior Dobson, huge presence. He has 6 points, but he did more than just score points.
Absolutely. He kind of slowed down Jeremy Haas a little bit. Haas was really doing anything he wanted to out there on the floor and scoring in a variety of ways. Dobson gets in the ball game, makes him think twice.
We're back. The second half is just about set to get underway. Don't you go anywhere. We're back after these local messages. to say to his troops at the half. Here's Lee Hall.
Thank you, sir. 38-33, your team down 5, Coach. Boy, you look at the stats. Both teams shoot over 50%, but it seemed like both teams shot about 75%. Everything seemed like it was going in for both sides.
Yeah, it was a pretty fast-paced first half, and both teams shot the ball fairly well. And we're just going to keep on pushing it more in the second half and see what happens.
What did you tell your team there at halftime?
Hey, they're fine. You know, we've been down at times. We've been down at 17 or 13 and a half, come back, and they'll just keep battling away. They're not going to give up now. They're just going to keep them battling.
All right, Coach, good luck to you. Thanks. No panic on the Auburn side, guys.
Auburn was down by 17 in the regionals, 10 in the sectionals. Doug Graven has been there before and done that. You mentioned Matt Weiss and those threes. They kick off our highlights as we take a look at some of the first half action from the Peoria Civic Center.
Well, Jordan Delp and Matt Weiss just kind of exchanged some threes. Matt Weiss got hot, had 3 out of 3 from three-point range. Then Jordan Delp, again, if he's not hitting the threes, he's taking it hard to the basket. There he's got 2 out of his first half 11 points. And then again in transition, they'll get the ball down quickly, and Jordan Delp again toes the line and knocks down the big 3. Again, 3 out of 5 from three-point range for him. Matt Weiss again knocks down a big 3. I believe they tied the ball game on that play. And then Dobson's in the ball game. Again, that transition, and Dudley in transition scores 2 out of his 4 points in the first half. And then Mr. Everything for Mount Carroll, you get Jeremy Haas. Runs the floor so very well. Had 13 points in the first half to lead the way for Mount Carroll.
I feared for the rim on that play, but he laid it in off the glass. We're back with more after these network messages. Jim Albrecht and Matt Taphorn back, getting ready within 45 seconds to bring you, well, I guess the old run and gun is back in style. And Matt, I don't think either team really wants to slow down. I mean, they don't know how to slow down. It's not their game.
No, and you know, you had good comments there too out of Doug Graven there to end or to start the second half here, and he's not worried at all about the situation his team's in. He's got some veteran players out there, and when you trust your son out there on the floor, and Brian Graven and the job that he can do, I think he's one of the players out there on the floor that can either score or get to the free throw line anytime he wants. So when you got a player like that on your team, you always have an ace in the hole.
Yes, and there you see some of the smiling and happy faces, and of course they aren't all happy at day's end because somebody goes home. As the horn sends both teams back out. We'll check the starting lineups for you again. There you see the Auburn Trojans. And they'll be joined by the Mount Carroll Hawks, who send out the same starting 5. Devin Snyder, Colin Bausman, Brett Yoakum, Jordan Delp, and Jeremy Haas. Auburn responding with the basketball. Himberger, Graven, Weiss, Dudley with the basketball, and then James Blair, the big man, number 55, with the ball right now. Gonna make a move. Gonna get it blocked by Yoakum. Jump ball.
Well, Mount Carroll get possession. But again, great position that time by Yoakum. Just held his ground and went up with the shot and was able to come away with the block and possession.
He's got great body control. Does not lean in. Goes straight up. You lean in, you're never going to get the call. Delp, who lit it up in the first quarter. Haas wants to make a move.
Both teams very similar in their approach, both man-to-man, both looking to ball, get the ball in transition, move up the floor after a change of possession.
A steal, and then a right back at you steal as the ball was tipped and Delp picked it out of the air.
Dudley really tried to force that one that time instead of letting the offense get set, maybe a secondary transition play, and Mount Carroll came away with possession.
3 guards play catch around the perimeter. Now Snyder will kick it back out. Delp loves that shot.
The penetration drew in Weiss off of Delp. Delp just towed the line and knocked down another big 3. He's 4 for 6 in the ball game.
And suddenly the Hawks are up by 8. Auburn needs to keep them within shouting distance. Weiss with a nice jumper.
Well, Reese has got a quick release. He doesn't look like he gets off the ground a whole lot, but he's got such a quick release.
Haas hustles, but he cannot save the ball because he was out of bounds when he tried to ricochet it off of the Trojans.
That time Blair really got down the floor quickly to slow down Haas, if you will, and that was surely a focal point for Auburn at halftime.
Now, if anybody's looking for an extra seat here at the Peoria Civic Center, you can use Coach Doug Gravens because he's not using his. He stands the entire game. His son, Brian Graven, with the basketball on the wing. Now he's going to make his move. Fouled out front before he could go to the glass. Foul will go against Devin Snyder. Now, Mount Carroll really got going, not this season, but last season. The big motivator for them was last year's double overtime loss to Rock Falls in the sectional finals. This year, they paid Rock Falls back, beating them 61-48. The only loss that Mount Carroll has all year to East Chicago Central of Indiana. Himberger with a nice dish to Graven, but he's shut off by Yoakum. Gets it back. Shut off again, this time by Haas.
A lot of contact in there, but again, Yoakum just holding his ground and wasn't called for a foul.
Haas, as easy as Sunday morning.
Haas can really knock down that shot. That time there wasn't as much hesitation as there has been in other opportunities he's had from the free throw line. Knocked that one down.
Blair is called for steps. And with an 8-point lead, Mount Carroll can find themselves in double-digit spread land here. Blair will come out. Dobson will come in. Now, Blair doesn't score a lot inside, only averaging 5 points a game, but Yoakum is making him work.
It was interesting to watch that little last exchange. Blair asked the coach to take him out. I was kind of surprised with that. Guy asked him to take himself out. He's not in foul trouble.
There's a dangerous pass. It's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Auburn Trojans. A break there for Mount Carroll. That was a risky delivery.
Well, now Auburn has Dobson back in the ball game. Really did a great job in the first half. Good screen inside action that time by Mount Carroll to get Yoakum open to the basket. He's got 10 points and 9 boards.
You never want to let the other team inbound underneath their own basket, and that's what happened as Yoakum kissed the glass. Mount Carroll, their biggest lead of the night at 10. Dudley has it bounce off a defender. We've got a timeout on the floor. Mount Carroll has the momentum on their side. We're back after these local messages. Well, if you play the Super Sectional and you win at Macomb, there's some magic there. 4 of the last 6 state champions have made their road to Peoria through that Macomb Super Sectional, and Auburn's trying to become number 5 out of 7 after beating Brown County in the Macomb Super Sectional. Dodson gets it blocked, but Yoakum will be called for the personal foul.
Again, Dodson very active coming off the bench for the Auburn Trojans, and that time he got Yoakum pinned on his hip and was able to draw the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Don't forget, semifinal action tomorrow, but we got another game yet tonight. Lyle Sr. taking on Carroll. Dobson, not the best free throw shooter in the world, but tonight, well, that one goes off the hands of Yoakum. So they still have a chance to make it a 3-point trip down the floor, trailing by 9. Graven will kick it in. Dudley being dogged by Colin Bousman. Out jumps Haas on Himberger.
Like there might have been a push off that time by Himberger
for Graven
against Jeremy Haas, but they get away with it, and now they knock down the big 3.
That was a 4-point trip down the floor.
Absolutely.
The free throw and the 3.
Got that 10-point lead to 6.
Graven, that's really not his forte. He only hit 16 threes all year, so his forte is penetration and getting to the free throw line.
Well, you got to make the defense play honest, and they were playing for the drive.
Pass with a hanger, too much iron. Here comes the Auburn Trojans. They were down by 10 moments ago. Dudley to the glass. Yoakum says, out of here.
Yoakum was just waiting in the weeds that time, was able to throw that one away.
Snyder for three. Devin Snyder matches Mr. Graven's three. And Snyder had 43 threes in the regular season. Looking for Himberger, but in the way was Haas, and Snyder couldn't quite control in the corner. But a smile on his face as he comes out of there.
Boy, that three by Schneider is just a dagger after you get the shot blocked on a possible lay-in at the other end by Yoakum. Go down the other way, that's about a 5-point swing.
Here's a steal by Haas. He's one-on-one, now one-on-two, and he will be tripped up by Matt Weiss. Well, first down. It was one-on-4, he was going. He was going.
No, and again, his quickness, he gets down the floor so well. And that time he avoided the contact, or tried to anyway, with the 2 charges he had in the first half. He didn't want to pick up a third offensive foul.
Yoakum waits for somebody to separate. That somebody turns out to be Jeremy Haas. Here's Snyder again. He's got that look, but he couldn't control the body on the way in. He hit a big body.
He did. He ran into 6'7", 235 Tony Dobson and
Graven
went backwards.
pulls up. And we've got a foul from behind on Himberger. Himberger trying to get to the offensive glass, but he was pinned out of there. Actually, they give it to Dobson.
I thought I was on 4-0.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
But I think he did say 5-0.
Well, it's on the board for
the second foul.
4-0 has 2, and so does 5-0. So 2 for Himberger and 2 for Dobson. This is where Haas makes his living.
They got him on the arm as well. And that's where I think Jeremy Haas can really take advantage of Dobson. He's quicker. He gets him out at the free throw line area and really can take him to the hoop. And that time a little quick move, a juke move inside. Watch a little hesitation. Goes up. You see Dobson catches him on the wrist. And he gets the basket and the foul.
Dan Gibler in the lineup for the Trojans, wearing number 21. 5'11" senior, averaging 9 points a ball game.
And see the officials at the scorer's table correctioning.
Yeah, they changed it around.
Well, they're saying it's the last possession, not this possession, where the foul was clearly on Dobson, but previously on the box out, it was against Himberger.
All right, so Himberger with 3 and 2 personal fouls as Haas misses the free throw for Tony Dobson. Can Auburn find enough magic to hold off the firepower? Way outside is Gibler, and he missed everything. And all his coach had to say was follow the shot in. Do not keep backing away from it. And Gibler wanted to make something happen for his team, but he caught nothing but air molecules.
I think he kind of got lost as to where he was at on the floor, and that time just a little too far extended from his range.
Matt Kruder is in the lineup for Mount Carroll, wearing number 33. Haas is taking a breather. Delp being dogged by Graven. Now Himberger will jump out on Mr. Delp. Wide open is Kruder, in and out. Rebound comes down to Dobson. Boy, that hit every
that hit the rim about 4 times before it hopped out.
Trojans looking for points.
Oh, what a steal by Yoakum.
Instead, they find a turnover by Yoakum, who stepped in and stripped the ball away. Delp down, wide open in the corner. Snyder, whoa, he missed everything.
Good box out there by Dobson.
Check that. That was Bousman on the shot. Bousman on the shot, not Snyder. Well, a couple of air balls. Now remember, Mount Carroll scored 25 in the first quarter. They're sitting on 50 deep in the third quarter here, so things have certainly slowed down a little bit tempo-wise, or at least marksmanship-wise.
Well, clearly Auburn's picked up their defense and limited their second chance opportunities, but now with Jeremy Haas out of the game, that's clearly to their advantage as well.
Gibbler again and again. Comes up short.
But Gibbler's trying to single-handedly bring them back into this game, and he's taken a couple of ill-advised shots. That time his momentum was turning away from the basket, and still he put up the shot.
And Gibbler is a three-point, I don't want to say expert, but he's certainly proficient. He hit 68 on the year, so it's not like he's not used to being out there. Delp is used to penetrating, not hitting this time.
Tough shot there, but again, Dobson defensively flew at the shot and caused him to take an off-balance shot.
Graven kicks it over to Gibbler. Will they hold for one? Or can they afford to, trailing by 11? Looks like they think they can afford to. Yeah, Graven gets an open lane, hanging, got too much on it. Rebound back up and in by Kyle Dudley.
Well, and Graven right now is really trying to draw the contact instead of going up for the shot. Right now, Mount Carroll is not really going after him aggressively when he goes in there. They're trying to stay in their ground, so he really needs to focus on the basket.
As usual, Delp has the ball in his hands as the final seconds of the quarter tick down. Ready, set, and go. Good defense by Graven. Yoakum from 15, no.
Good set play and good rotation that time by Yoakum. Just didn't get the shot to go down.
Mount Carroll by 9. We're back after these network messages.
It's been great. It's been an experience, and it helped us out this year. You know, with us winning the state or coming to state, it's been a dream come true.
You fight with your dad much?
No, we don't fight too much. He yells at me a little bit. He gets on me, you know, from time to time, but it's nothing personal. He expects more out of me, pretty much. He knows what I'm capable of, and that's why he expects more out of me.
Graven with 11 points. Weiss with 11 points. Dudley with 8, but you see the Mount Carroll fans in force. They want this game to finish the way it looks right now, with the Hawks on top, 50-41. But we still got 8 minutes left to play, Matt.
And I think Brian Graven's going to have a little bit to say about how this game finishes up. He's going to have the ball in his hands for the majority of the time here in this fourth period.
Dad expects more of me because he knows what I'm capable of. Yeah. Be a good time to start the run. Dobson doubled up, down low, fought, got, and scored.
Well, Dobson is just a man in this game tonight. He's really come to play.
Down to 7. Ball is kicked. Mount Carroll will inbound.
That was a pretty good defensive effort on the other end by Yoakum as well. He just held his ground once again, but Dobson would not be denied.
Delp has 14. Yoakum 10. Haas has 17 to lead the way. This is Jeremy Haas. Turnaround 12-footer, money.
Nice little soft jumper. Surprised he didn't take that little baseline shot out of the out-of-bounds play. He had more room, actually, but he'd like to take the more difficult shot.
There's a steal almost by Delp. Couldn't quite control it. Inbounding will be Kyle Dudley. Of course, Auburn has a lot of football players out there. They lost in the semifinals, the furthest the team had ever gone in school history. Weiss can't shake free for the 3. Good defense by Delp. There's Mr. Dobson. We've got contact and a foul on Yoakum.
Dobson taking it right to him. Yoakum that time left his feet and was whistled for the foul. Might not be a bad strategy in that situation, sending Dobson to the free throw line. It's not his strength in the ball game.
Yoakum, though, with 3 personals, and if he picks up another one, that could become an issue. And you're right, it's not his strength. 43% on the year, just not that many attempts. What do you do during the offseason, Matt, if you're a basketball nut? You go shoot free throws till your arms fall off. That's what you do. Oh, Haas with that speed and a great save. So Mount Carroll kicks up the offense. Comes Snyder, the Delp to the bucket. No. The ball will be saved by Delp.
But he was out of bounds.
He had his foot on the end line.
Well, he came from out of bounds to the inbounds to actually get his hand back on the ball, but Good hustle, good effort that time by Jordan Delp. You can't fault him for that.
There was no hesitation on that three. That was coming. Trojans trailing by 9. Cross-court pass gets away from Himberger. Dobson trying to make something happen across the lane, but couldn't do it.
Dobson a little anxious that time. The ball came in, and immediately the double team came over from Jeremy Haas. Himberger was open momentarily. Dobson threw it away.
Mount Carroll, the #2 team in the state. Madison was #1 at the end of the season. They were knocked off. Pass, no. Rebound, nicely done by Mosier. But he couldn't maintain control, and we're coming the other way. Little Justin Mosier was in there.
Yeah, Mosier, all of 5'8" out there, was a little surprised he was able to get that offensive rebound. His momentum carried him out of bounds and forced the turnover.
Time now becomes a factor for the Auburn Trojans. Makeup time, close the gap. Dobson double team. Himberger doesn't want that shot. Weiss. Dobson with 3 guys around him. And Dudley trying to make something happen along the baseline, but Yoakum says stay away. Himberger will have to go. Hangs, spins, nothing. And here comes Haas.
Little contact there, but I think it was really Himberger who forced the contact. Now Mount Carroll's going to take a timeout and talk about some things.
They're going to talk about how to hang on to this lead. This IHSA broadcast is being brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And by Agco Tractor. You have got to drive on. That's dangerous right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is Lee Hall.
Hey, it's
trying to focus.
Hey, I can focus, pal. You better watch it. You are on. I can mess with your life right here.
Well, that would be nothing unusual, Lee.
Here's how you look the best.
Yeah, you need to pull that back a little bit.
You know, we got almost 20 people working on the crew to make this happen for two days before this even gets started. So we wanted to give them a shout out.
Going out there on the floor right now.
Well, Lee, we need a crew of 20 to make you look good.
Watch it. I'm going to hand this back over to the professionals.
Yeah, don't quit your day job, Lee.
I don't have a day job. What does that tell you?
3!
Jordan Delp raises his finger as he's going down the floor. He's got 20 points in the ball game now, or excuse me, 17 points in the ball game, but that might have been the dagger right there for Auburn.
They now find themselves down by a dozen. And that early assault by Mount Carroll with the offense seems to have been just enough margin to maintain. Delp didn't like what he saw. And now we've got a foul down low on the block. Looks like Himberger got a hold of Yoakum. That's 4 on Mr. Himberger. Don't forget, we've got Lyle Sr. and Carroll coming up after this quarterfinal game, and when that one's decided, we'll meet you tomorrow morning right here on the IHSA television network. Check your local listings. And right now, Mount Carroll can play a little bit with the clock.
Well, they're still looking for their shot opportunities. It's just they're being a little bit more patient.
Well, Haas, in an unusual turn of events, lost control with those great hands of his. He was about to make a spin move, but forgot the mail.
Yeah, he got excited that he had Himberger pinned on his hip.
Woo. Himberger goes down hard after taking a shoulder from Yoakum.
Good hard foul that time on Yoakum inside. Didn't maintain his position that well. Figured he'd make Himberger earn those 2.
Yoakum now with 4 personals, but with a 12-point lead. Coach Chris Payne can leave him in until the next free throw. And in comes Matt Kruger. Matt Kruger will take Yoakum's place. as Himberger tries to hit one of two and gets neither, and the ball is out and loose. And here comes Devin Snyder. Snyder likes these numbers, and he likes the glass, but a little bit off.
And Jordan Delp really wanted that ball on the perimeter. He was setting himself up for another three-point shot. Just missed him in transition.
That's Graven's move right there. Slash into the bucket.
Well, as soon as Yoakum goes out of the ball game, they took it right to the basket. So good awareness and recognition that time by Auburn.
Yeah, the neighborhood looks a lot better when Mr. Yoakum's not patrolling it, doesn't it?
Well, from a defensive standpoint, he's been more of a presence in there clearly than Jeremy Haas. And again, it takes a coach's son sometimes to realize that. And Brian Graven took it right to the hole.
Graven now leading his team with 13 points. But remember, he averages 20. And now we got a foul out front on Dudley.
It's only the 6th team foul, so it won't be a shooting situation here for Mount Carroll.
Inbounding will be Justin Mosier. They pretty much go with 7 on Mount Carroll, even though they run up and down the floor. So you better be a well-conditioned young man, or it's not going to happen. Playing a little catch and pass till somebody wants to pull the trigger. That somebody is Haas, but now, after the errant shot, Haas will only get a personal foul for his efforts.
I thought there was some contact that time as Haas tried to go up against Dobson, but Haas really gets himself in a lot of situations underneath the basket, and a lot of times the officials aren't going to give you that call. They're gonna make you earn your points and not going to give you the advantage if you're coming out from underneath the basket, and that's the situation he's gotten himself into a few times this ball game.
Well, Auburn had hoped to get Haas into some early foul trouble, Matt, but he's got 3 now, but it may be too late with 3:31 remaining. But the 10-point lead with the 3-pointer is certainly
they called that
not undoable. Yep. Kruder with his second.
Again, only a 10-point ball game, 3.5 minutes to play. This is a key possession right here for Auburn.
They need a spark. Need something to happen. Drop it into Graven. He is contested, and Matt Kruder got a lot of ball, but let's see who the foul goes against.
It was on Kruder.
Yeah.
He came over and got a little bit of the body as well.
That's almost automatic as far as free throws, but yeah, they still have to be buried by Brian Graven, who hit over 175 free tosses during the regular season.
The Yoakum's coming back into the ball game. They've lost some of their advantage on the interior defense, and right now Auburn's just taking it right to them.
Yeah, they don't want Graven slashing in there anymore. Not without Yoakum. They'll take the chance with 3:29 remaining, and Yoakum saddled with 4 fouls. Now full court pressure. Mount Carroll, the #2 team in the state, and the highest rated team down here. Snyder with good hands. And now a bad pass, and it's Graven loose. Graven against Mosier.
And one.
Oh, go. It won't go. And Doug Graven showed his vertical leaping ability. The coach on the sideline jumping up and down.
And that's that defensive pressure. Full court that time. Hasn't been used very much in this ball game by Auburn. But Mount Carroll got a little frustrated or flustered that time, and actually Dobson came up, made a great steal on that play, and you get the ball in the hands of Brian Graver in the open court, you're going to have the advantage.
At this point, he won't pull up and set up the offense. Let's put it that way. They're all point. Oh, he missed that one. And he steps away in disgust. After this one, if it's not a 7-point deficit, I'm buying Matt dinner.
There you go.
Uh-oh. But the rebound by Dobson.
Does that mean I have to buy you dinner?
Yeah, I think so. Well, Dobson again makes a big play, and again the full court pressure has an effect for a foul on Dudley. They cut it to 6 with plenty of time remaining here, but now they will send Mount Carroll to the free throw line.
Big turn of events there. I thought that was going to be a turnover as Yoakum couldn't find anybody to throw it to, and Dudley was really guarding Schneider closely.
Auburn not about to go away, not after winning 26 games. Of course, one of the Elite Eight to get down here, an enrollment of 305 from the Prairie State Conference. Money from Snyder, who's a 66% free throw shooter. And Snyder, who averages 10, tries to put his 5th point on the board. And does. That was a big turn of events. Instead of a turnover, the lead is back up to 8. Graven finds Himberger, but Himberger finds Graven. Got it. Whoa.
Good slashing move that time by Graven to get himself to the basket.
And now Graven picks up the
against Graven. It's only his first in the ball game. Last basket gives him 17.
But it'll put Jordan Delp at the free throw line. And Delp, while he doesn't go to the free throw line a lot, only 48 times this year, he nailed 38 of them. So the 6-point advantage for Mount Carroll. Is about to increase, or no, stay the same. Well, and guess who's got the rebound? Tony Dobson.
Oh, boy.
Bad play? What happened?
And
Let's see.
Mount Carroll's out of bounds on the sideline, but Auburn's very fortunate to come away with that ball because they tried to force it into Graven. He had 2 guys, 2 defenders from Mount Carroll all over him. And Auburn's fortunate to come back with the ball.
Graven forcing things. Ball gets loose. It goes to Himberger, to the glass. Too hard, but Graven's there. Back up and in.
He just can't be denied right now. Graven's doing everything he can to pull his team into victory.
And again, Dudley with a backcourt foul. And this will send Devin Snyder to the line. And there's plenty of time left, as you can see in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. 2:36 and counting.
It's the 3rd foul on Dudley, too. A little bit of a concern. He's one of their best defenders out there.
And, of course, Delp missed on his last trip, but Snyder does not.
And that's 9 team fouls against Auburn, so the next will be the double bonus.
Mount Carroll 23 of 45 from the field, 8 of 13 from the line, make it 9 of 14 from the charity stripe. And here comes the Auburn Trojans. Their fans taking a deep sigh right now, looking for a bucket. Weiss will be in trouble in the lane, but he got away with it because he will go to the free throw line as well.
Schneider whistled on the foul that time in the penetration by Weiss. Kind of surprised to see that play being used by Auburn. I would think that Weiss might be better served to spot up from the 3-point range and get Graven penetrating if he's not open, kicking it back out.
Well, I'll say something for Snyder. He got a lot of basketball in that one, too. He got a lot of basketball.
Well, and the official, I think, was a little bit screened out on the play and made the call.
Matt Weiss, a natural 3-point shooter, as Coach calls him. And, of course, Matt, also a natural free throw shooter, 82% from the stripe. He proves it. And, again, a 4-point margin, and the press is on. Mount Carroll in trouble. Gathering is Yoakum.
Well, Yoakum's got great hands
He
in
sure
there.
does.
In traffic, was able to come away with that ball.
And Snyder and company now have it in the forecourt. Who almost a turnover out front. Mosier.
Timeout on the called by the bench.
It's a timeout. We're tight at Peoria. We're back after these network messages.
Need a truck? Call the red, white, and blue fleet from Elite Truck Rental. Elite's loaded with trucks in all sizes ready to serve you. Plus, at Elite Truck, your reservations are guaranteed, you're in and out fast, and you always get a great price.
Let's throw it to Lee Hall, courtside. Lee.
All right, this has gotten a lot more interesting for the Mount Carroll fans, and a couple of them are right here, Lowell and Diane Buck. Diane, your folks are watching back in Mount Carroll. You want to say hi to them?
Yes, hello.
Who are they?
John and Arlene Dare.
Now, are you shaking because you're nervous of being on TV or because this has gotten down to a 4-point game?
Both. This is terribly nerve-wracking. Oh.
Now, your father-in-law does not remember the 1911 trip, does he?
I don't think so.
That was the last time Mount Carroll was here. It looks like if they hang on, they're going to go to the semifinals, but there's still about 2:05 left to finish here. Back to you guys.
See, they had long shorts back then, too.
Yeah, everything is recycled in the fashion world, isn't it? Of course, Matt, when you played for ISU, they kind of put away the short shorts after
Yeah, we had
last
about
year.
half of that length, so things have definitely changed over the years.
Maybe if you had had a better tan, maybe they wouldn't have gotten rid of those short shorts. I don't know. To the line goes Jeremy Haas. Got it.
Haas has been relatively quiet here in the second half, and primarily here in the fourth period. He's got 20 points for the ball game. He had 13 at half and had a couple of big buckets right to start the third period, but he's been quiet for about the last 6 to 8 minutes.
Averaging 24 on the season. And gets a kind roll on that one.
Boy, that hit the front of the rim and rolled in. How did that happen?
That's physics. Graven thought he spotted Himberger, but covered up quickly down there. Oh, Graven has it go off his foot, saves it. It's loose. He's looking for somebody, and picking it up is Devin Snyder, and count it up.
I'll tell you what, that was all created too, because the ball's loose on the floor and you get after it instead of just picking up, trying to reach down and picking the ball up. And I'm not faulting Graven because he got down after, but so did Mount Carroll, and they were able to come away with the possession just because of that reason.
Graven, no. Rebound, but a whistle before the rebound. And a foul against, it looks like Himberger. And we'll go the other way, and that's bad news for Auburn because they trail by 8. And Mount Carroll's marching down for more throws.
Now the call was on Dobson inside. He and Yoakum were going at trying to get position on that rebound. Yoakum held his ground and was the beneficiary of that foul call.
That's 3 fouls now on Dobson. And we'll keep her right here. The Peoria Civic Center is having a night. It was like missing the fireworks on the 4th of July, man. These two teams were back and forth. Yeah, let's go into the huddle and see what the Trojans have on their mind. Well, obviously, we couldn't pick up what Doug Graven was saying, and a big night in his life, regardless how it turns out. Matt, 22 years of head coaching, 374 wins, and you're trying to get that one win down here at State, and however it falls, let's just say after 22 years, he deserved to be here.
Well, and it takes so much to get here on this floor. I mean, everything has to go well for you. You have to have great matchups, and then to get here, you're playing another team that the same thing happened for. So it's tough on this first day where you have 4 teams eliminated the first day they're here that don't play 3 games on the weekend. And unfortunately, some of those teams go away a little bit disappointed, but that should just be the opposite. They should be very happy and elated that they made it this far.
Auburn has 2 timeouts left. Mount Carroll just 1. It's Yoakum at the free throw line. Yoakum right at his season average of 10 and stays there. He's got that line drive thing going on, doesn't he?
Well, at 6'7", when he reaches up, he's at about 9.5 feet already, so it's just not a lot of arc on that ball.
The Trojans are 3 threes away from tying this basketball game. They go inside to Dobson. Nice move, but Yoakum shut him off. Graven underneath, up and in. Timeout. Timeout Auburn. They have 1 left to burn after this. 64-57 is Mount Carroll's advantage.
And again, Graven just doesn't give up in there. I think he might have even got a little bit of contact, no foul. 21 points in the ball game, but he's a guy that just does everything out there for that team.
Let's see if we can pick up Doug Graven's instructions.
All right, now listen to that. All right, got Devin, we got Jordan, We got Mosier, we got Jeremy.
Well, I think we have the sound from one huddle and the camera from the other huddle. So there we go. Now we got the sound and the camera.
You got to get out and go.
Yeah, you don't want to give the other huddle your audio. That's a bad idea.
All right, even set them up here. Listen, set them up a little bit here and then go around. So you're running your guy.
And we want to give some special thanks to 3 Fat Guys Pizza. It's one of Matt's favorite pizzas in all the world. It's in East Peoria, and we also want to remind you this copyrighted broadcast is presented for the exclusive entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. There you see the 3 Fat Guys Pizza joints in East Peoria and Peoria, Illinois, feeding our crew here. And that's not easy, ladies and gentlemen. These folks eat.
Well, I'm pretty hungry right now after hearing about that.
And again, this copyrighted broadcast is presented for the exclusive entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited. Jay Haas, will he stop? Yeah, he'll stop and pass it off and eat some time off the clock. We're under a minute. Somebody's going to foul, and that somebody turns out to be Himberger. And for Mr. Himberger, that will be the season. That is 5 on him, and that will be the career for Ryan Himberger, unless his team can come back with a little lightning in the bottle. There you see the dejection on his face, and coming in is Dan Gibler. And Dan, who had a great season coming off the bench for Auburn and burying a lot of threes. There you see Himberger. Jordan Delp. I told you at the top, he carries himself with a whole lot of confidence, and he's proven that. Hitting both of those. Delp has 19 on the night. And Auburn has almost has it picked away. Here's Dudley off the glass.
But Delp is a guy that just plays one speed the whole game.
Yeah, he does.
He's fun to watch.
He's got the 5th gear on at all times. Tonight, Doug Altenberger will be along with Kurt Pegler, and they'll bring you Carroll and Lyle Sr. coming up next. Of course, we already have Warrensburg Latham in. They'll take on Hales Franciscan tomorrow. That should be a very interesting matchup. And then the winner of this game will take on the winner of Cairo and Lyle. Let's take a look at some of those scores from today. Warren Latham prevailed over CPCI. It was an up and down game with a lot of momentum shifts. And that Hales Franciscan score, and that's not quite
the game was a lot closer than 18 points, certainly. Bree Central really, I thought, had the game right where they wanted it in the second period, and the third quarter just kind of fell apart.
Everything you want to know about Illinois sports is on the www.ihsa.org website. That's where you find out the lineups. That's where you find out the averages. That's where you find out the teams. And who knows, someday you may find his name on the website. Is he eating paper?
He sees himself on the Jumbotron here at the arena and pretty excited.
Hey, somebody feed that young man. I really don't
well,
think...
it's 8 o'clock. He hasn't had dinner.
I don't think paper is a good substance. I'm not sure.
You know, that's one of the funnest things about this tournament is seeing all these kids and parents that bring their kids to these events. I remember the first state tournament I went to when I was a freshman in high school. You know, I wasn't able to go to some of the younger events down in Champaign. And it was just a tremendous atmosphere and something that really gets you hooked on basketball if you're not already.
Yeah, when you get it when you're little and you pick up that ball. Hey, when I was growing up, I always dreamed of coming to the state tournament. Didn't make it with a basketball, but made it in another way.
You have one of the best seats in the house.
Right next to Jim O'Boy from Cost Broadcasting. Are you kidding me? You can't buy this seat. It's not available. Free throw is not there for Devin Snyder. So the lead stays at 7 for Mount Carroll. And it's not over yet. Got to make these. Makes 1 of 2. Snyder with 10 on the night. Long jumper from the corner is not there for Gibler. Saved by Dobson for a time. Knocked out of bounds by Haas.
Well, that took some time off the clock, certainly, but again, the most important thing is Auburn maintains possession.
Well, Brian Graven doesn't want his season to end, but it's going to be a case of getting something done quick. Dobson missed. Rebound, Yoakum. Uh-oh, this is trouble. This is Ryan Delp. Count him up. And count the ball game in the favor of Mount Carroll. Graven slips and falls with 10 seconds left. Hey, Ryan Delp might be your player of the game. Graven with his final 3 of his career. He nails it, and this game is over. Mount Carroll came in averaging 75 points a game. They didn't quite get it done, but Brian Graven, after playing all that basketball at Auburn, has nothing at all to be sorry for. I mean, he worked hard all night, man.
He did. You could see just that last possession, he knocks down the 3. What a way to end your career. And he just goes to his knees, just spin it all. That you can't ask any more than that out of these kids. Just leave it out all on the floor and see what happens. Let the chips fall where they may. And certainly Brian Graven did that here tonight.
And with that last 3, he finished as the game's high score with 24. But Mr. Delp came out firing. He hit 5 of 8 threes. Finished with 21 on the night. And of course, Jeremy Hass with 21. Snyder with 10. Yoakum with 11. And Bausman with 6. I'd say that's pretty good balance. And that's what Mount Carroll's all about. Let's go talk with the winning coach, Lee.
All right, we're with Chris Payne. Coach, things got a little bit interesting down the stretch there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. You know, great teams make comebacks like that, and they're a real bunch tough competitors, and really got to hand it to them. They fought like champions, and our kids stepped up and made some big free throws there in the 4th quarter, and I think that was the difference in the game.
Tell me about Jordan Delp.
He was big tonight. We talked before the game that, you know, let's have him go out and put a show on tonight, and I think he did. He shot the ball real well, knocked some free throws down, handled the basketball, and just real proud of him. He took the next step, and, you know, the goal is to play on the last day of the season, and we're going to now.
All right, let's talk to Jordan Delp, our Country Insurance player of the game with 21 points. You got it done out there tonight. It was kind of easy sledding there in the first half. Didn't look like anybody was going to miss a shot.
Yeah, we came out real well. We shot the ball real well in the 1st quarter, and we just had to pick it up in defense in the 2nd half, and that's what we did.
Tell me about coming down the stretch there. It looked like you guys were ahead comfortably there late in the game, and then Auburn puts on a push, and you guys really had to slug it out there at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Auburn's a great team, and anybody that gets down here is going to make a run, and we knew that, but we knew we just had to sustain that run and keep our composure, and I think we did that fairly well tonight, and we came out with a W.
I was talking to your dad during the game. He told me a little story about you guys coming down here and watching the state tournament about 4 years ago. What did you tell your dad then?
Well, he says we told him that we'd be down here for him. I don't really remember it, but if he says it, it must have happened.
It's a good story either way, right?
Definitely. I'm glad he got to tell it.
Yeah, tell me about moving on and playing for a shot to go to the state championship game tomorrow.
Well, this is definitely one of our goals coming into the season. We thought we could get down here, and, you know, anything can happen when you get down here. It's March Madness, as everybody calls it, and we just want to go out and give it all and, you know, execute offensively and play hard defensively, and we'll see what happens.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, good luck to you tomorrow. Jordan Delp, our Country Insurance player of the game, 21 points. He and Jeremy Hass tied for team high honors with the Hawks, leading them in scoring and leading them to the semifinals. Jim, back to you.
And of course, Lee is our Country Company sideline reporter of the game. As always, we appreciate that, Lee. And Delp speaks like a young man with confidence, and he'll be here along with Mount Carroll for the semifinals tomorrow. We're back at the Peoria Civic Center. Game 4 of this quarterfinal day is coming up after these local messages.